So thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. This is really exciting. There's 145 people in here right now, so that's awesome. It's nice to see you all. Please do say where you're from in the chat as you've been doing. I really appreciate that. I'm going to be asking for some of your participation in the chat as we go along, but please do hold your questions for the end. There is a Q&A box, so rather than put them in the chat because we won't see them as easily, obviously because you're going to be chatting to each other and stuff like that. If you put them in the Q&A box, then we can answer them at the end, if that makes sense. So yeah, that'll be really helpful for me if you can. Oh, we've already had a mishap. If you could just leave your questions to the end, that would be awesome. And yeah, so why are we here? We're here because we want to find out how to get freelance clients during a downturn, right? So as we know, we're in like some kind of tough times right now, which sucks. But and everyone's going to be affected by this in different ways and what's happening in the world and what's going on. But I'm going to give you some of my tips to help you get clients. But what I want you to remember is that we need to take care of ourselves first. So I know that not all of you are going to be in the complete right mindset to tackle some of this right now. And I just want you to know that that's okay. You know, it's okay that you feel like that. It's okay that maybe you're a bit more busy right now because you're like homeschooling children and all of that kind of stuff. I just want you to know that it's okay, because I don't want you to put extra pressure on yourself because of watching this class and thinking, oh no, I've got to do everything that Haley says right now. Otherwise, it's never going to work for me and I'm going to be a rubbish freelancer or things like that, you know? So I just want you to know that it's okay to kind of take a break, you know, have a rest, just let things settle down a bit and then get to this kind of stuff. So if you just want to take in what I'm saying right now and you'd like to listen to the latest podcast, because I think it really, really helps with this kind of stuff, talking about how to deal with anxiety during uncertain times. Dr. Anna Simmons is a clinical psychologist. So we talk a lot about this, you know, mindset, and maybe that not everybody is ready to like take loads of action and do loads of things to get clients and stuff like that right now. So I think that's a really nice episode to listen to. And you know, I just wanted to mention this stuff because I don't want this class to kind of add extra pressure, you know, if you're kind of facing some stuff in your personal life right now. Because as I said, this virus is affecting everyone differently. So I just want you to know that it's okay. And please do take bits from it or do it all, or you know, whatever you want. It's kind of just, these are my tips, I want to help you, but I don't want you to feel like stressed and too much more under pressure than you already are, if that makes sense. So Austin says thanks for adding a bit about take care of yourself. Yes, well, it's very important, so I thought we should definitely start with that because I want you to be, you know, okay and do the things that you need to do right now for yourself. But, you know, obviously we're going to talk all about getting clients, but I just wanted to kind of preface it with this little bit here. So now with that kind of done, are we all ready to learn about how to get more clients? If you put yes in the comments in the chat, that would be awesome. So I know that you're all listening and paying attention. Yes, yes. Oh, that's so exciting to see all these people. Yeah, I can't even keep up. It's too many yeps. That's awesome. Cool. So I want to ask you some questions. So does this kind of thinking sound familiar to you? You're not sure where you're getting your clients from and you're mostly getting them from referrals. You don't know if you should be reaching out to past or new clients right now. You're unsure of the right next steps to take. You're not sure how to help your clients in this situation and you're feeling kind of overwhelmed. So does this sound like how you all feel right now? I just want to know that we're on like the same page and I'm kind of teaching you the right stuff really. So just if you put in the comments so I can know that I'm on check ×5. Yeah. All right. I'm glad that I'm on the right track then. That's good because we're going to try and solve some of this today. Fingers crossed. So what we're going to cover is how to do a client audit, how to reach out to past clients, what packages you can offer your clients right now. We're going to look for hidden opportunities and we're going to learn how to take action or maybe not. And also at the end, we've got a special announcement, which I'm really excited about. So please do stay around until the end. The presentation's not too long, so don't worry. And then obviously we'll have the Q&A afterwards as well. So you can actually download some worksheets for free on our website. If you go to motionhatch.com/masterclass, you can find a couple of worksheets that we're going to go through. So you could go and do that now. I'll leave this up for a little second to give you the opportunity to do that. You don't have to put your email in or anything. You can just go over there and get them just absolutely free. So Coralie says, special announcement, exciting. Yeah, it is exciting. Andrew Green's asking, pay attention, but will this be available to rewatch after? Yeah, we'll send an email with the replay, of course, so you can go back to it. Yeah, I'm not going to give away free money, but there might be free something. So if you keep paying attention, you might get some free things. So yeah, I'm just leaving this up for a second and looking in the chat because I want you to all just go and get those worksheets before we carry on. So yeah, as I said in the beginning, I want you to take notes. If you want, you can, share some of your notes and takeaways from this class on Twitter or Instagram. We're at Motion Hatch. You could use the hashtag MHNotes. And speaking of free things, as a little contest, because I thought it might be fun and because I want to see what you're all learning from this class and what you're kind of taking away from it, I'm going to go after the class, obviously, I'm going to go on social media, check through and see what you've been posting about it. And if you use a hashtag MHNotes, we can see your takeaways and what things you learned and things like that, because I think it's cool to share this knowledge with others. But also, I just think it's really nice to know that you're kind of paying attention and you got a lot out of this. So I'm going to give someone the freelance contract bundle for free. I'll just pick someone random, or maybe I'll let Natalie pick someone. Something like that. So if you want to get the freelance contract bundle for free, then just take some notes, take a picture of it, or I don't know, do an amazing graphic with your favorite takeaway or something like that. And please do use the hashtag MHNotes and also tag us at Motion Hatch. Oh, is something going wrong? That's good. Is it working or not? I can see that there's some kerfuffle in the. Oh, you mean working. Okay, maybe Natalie can help. If the is the link not working or is the webinar not working? That's what I need to know, I think. The link. Okay, yeah, well, if Natalie, you can probably help with that and get it fixed, I hope. Maybe it's too many people, yeah, potentially. But don't worry, it's not going to go away straight away. So, and I'm going to go through it anyway. So you can just take notes and you could go and download the exercise later if that helps. Cool. So if anybody doesn't know, I'm Hayley. I run Motion Hatch. We help motion designers with the business side of motion design. I started Motion Hatch because I felt like there wasn't any help out there for freelance motion designers. So when I started out, I felt like I just sort of had to ask my friends if they wanted to go for a beer and say hey, how much do you charge? How do I run my freelance business? Stuff like that, and kind of just guess really and sort of trust that they knew what they were doing. So that's a little bit scary. Let me know if in the chat if anyone else had that kind of experience, because I think there wasn't a lot of things out there a few years ago, and now luckily we have more things like Facebook communities and stuff like that. But this is really why I started Motion Hatch, and I'm really passionate about helping you all with your freelance businesses and that kind of stuff. Daniel says, yeah, I had no idea when I started out. So the first thing that we're going to get to is how to do a client audit. Now, this sounds a bit more scarier than I think it actually is, which happens to me a lot. So I always make things that sound more scary, but hopefully you will see it's not scary at all. And it's just about answering some questions, which will hopefully lead you to getting more clients. So before we get to the how, the first question I want to answer is, why should we do a client audit? So we do a client audit because you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know where to get your clients from, and you don't have a system for getting clients. The client audit helps us to figure out where our client leads are coming from, allows us to double down on what's working for us right now. It lets us look at what is working for us right now for getting clients. Just said that bit. Helps us to see patterns to figure out what is generating work for us. So there's the link again, just so maybe, hopefully it's working now. So, okay, Josh says it's working. So there's a link again, just in case you missed it. I saw you all posting in the chat, so thank you for helping. That's very good. So yeah, now let's get to how we actually do the client audit. So I'm going to go through the questions and kind of explain a bit more about each one, but if you've got the sheet, you'll be able to see it all on there as well, hopefully. So question 1 is, take a look at the past year. Where are your clients coming from at the moment? So if you don't know, what you can do is you could try asking your clients like, hey, how did you find me? Or if you get a random cold email about a project, ask the person where they found your details. So question 2, is there a pattern in where your client leads are coming from? So for example, like, is most of your clients coming from referrals? Are they coming from Instagram, stuff like that? Question 3, is there a general pattern? If there is a general pattern, is there a way you can double down on what's working to create a steady stream of clients? So you can go you could go deeper into where your clients are currently coming from and create a system to generate more client leads. So question 4, are there any places that have given you clients that you didn't like? Now, this one I think is actually maybe more important than the other ones in a way. So it can be good to take note of where you're getting your clients from, obviously what social media is helping you to get clients, that kind of thing. But sometimes we don't kind of look at some of the clients that we're getting and we're thinking, this person, this recruiter always gives me rubbish clients or something like that. And we don't really think about it, and we don't think, well, maybe we could look at reducing some of those types of clients and increasing some from some of the kind of other places where we do like those working with those clients, if that kind of makes sense. Yes, Mary says, oh my god, where are the worst clients coming from? Exactly. It's kind of that question. So I just think it's a really good question to be asking ourselves, and a lot of people don't do that. And I could go in a bit deeper about this, but we don't really have time. But it's kind of that idea that 20% of our efforts are creating 80% of the results. So who are the clients that are wasting your time and things like that? These are the kind of things that we should be asking ourselves. So question 5 is, take a look at your social media platforms. What platforms helped you make successful connections in the past? So this could be like clients or like fellow motion designers. Having a community can also help us get work. So previously in the past, I've built a community of motion designers on Twitter, and I've got quite a few client projects through like people on Twitter referring me and stuff like that. So it's not, sometimes social media isn't like maybe the client's contacting you on social media, but sometimes it's that you have other connections on there that are leading you to these clients and things like that. I'm just going to have a drink of water. Hope you don't mind. There's a lot of talking. Okay, so question 6 is, what kinds of posts on social have given you the most engagement in the past? So engagement just means, like comments, likes, conversations, that kind of thing. This can help you to focus on one platform and not feel overwhelmed, like you need to be on every single platform. I know a lot of you ask me this question all the time. Do we need to be on all the platforms? That kind of thing. And I don't think that we do. We just need to figure out which platforms are kind of giving us the most results. So just to recap, so what are the patterns that have come up in this exercise? And obviously if you're doing the exercise later, that's fine. but could you create a system around these patterns? So by doing the exercise, we may see a pattern arising in the way that we get clients. Then we can see what's working best for us and double down in that area, creating a system for ourselves which generates more client leads. So I hope that makes sense and you can kind of see how this works, but I'm going to give you an example as well. So, for example, maybe you worked out that you get most engagement through Instagram and you've actually made a few motion design friends on there, and a couple of them have given you work in the past. And also, you can see the rest of your work comes through referrals, particularly producers that you've worked with previously. So, how do we create a system for this? So, a system for Instagram could be generate one piece of helpful or entertaining content a week, which I put I put this thing in. I think it's kind of silly, but you know, some people in the kind of social media and marketing world call this like edutaining, like educating and entertaining at the same time. And that's kind of seen as the best type of content. So just something to think about there. You can like research a bit more into that as well. And then you could also spend 30 minutes at lunch every day commenting on other motion designers' posts. So this is a way we can kind of sort of like rinse and repeat what's working for us. Just as an example, if you saw that Instagram was helping you. So just a word of warning. When you're engaging with others, you must give them value. So that doesn't mean just adding a heart emoji on everybody's post, because that's like, it's nice, but it's not like super helpful. So you can actually comment on their work, give them valuable feedback, stuff like that. That would really help you build your relationships a lot more than just adding like, I don't know, like the muscle thing. What does that even mean? I don't know. I always get worried that I'm doing the most like the wrong things with emojis. So someone needs to give me a lesson in emojis. But yeah, don't just use emojis. Actually reply to people with really helpful things like, hey, I really liked this particular section of your reel or something like that, because people will notice that and they'll be like, oh, that's awesome. And you can do this for studios too. So when they post work all the time, you know, you can give them a lot of value back before you even cold email them. And that's like a really good tip. So I can see that you're posting which socials work for you in the chat. So that's really awesome. Thanks for doing that. So yeah, in our example, we were saying that we got referrals as one of the places we got work in the past. So you could create a system around this. I like to think of this as smart referrals, which basically means you're actively asking for referrals rather than just waiting for them to come to you. So one of the most important things is actually to tell the person what you do, but also what type of people you're looking to work with. Because I think that a lot of people are like, yeah, can you give me a referral? But you're not specifying, you know, exactly what you do and who you want to work with. And also you could send them an email template so they don't really need to have to think about referring you. They don't have to write anything. They can just literally copy and paste. You know, you could obviously say, you don't have to use this template, but here's just an example of what things you could write. So I guess some of you are probably thinking, because I've heard this question a lot recently, is now a good time to reach out to clients? So your clients will remember how you acted during this time. We want them to remember that we were helpful and kind, and someone who was there to help, even if they don't need us right now, even if they don't need us to help. You know, it's good to let them know that we're out there and we want to help them, because they'll remember that when they actually do need help and they do start going again, you know, because a lot of people are still hiring. I've actually had like more people contact me about doing animation in the past week than I have done previously. So I don't know what that's all about, but people are out there and they're looking for people to work with them. I've actually got a list coming up later of new opportunities that I think we can look for. So as motion designers, we are running service-based businesses. We are problem solvers by nature. So how can we use this skill to solve our current clients' problems? I just want you to remember these things because I think they're really, really important. You know, we are service-based businesses. We are helping people. I want you to remember that. So how do you reach out to past clients? So unfortunately, right now, everyone is feeling isolated, and most people have been affected by the virus in some way. The best thing we can do is reach out to them and just see how they're getting on. Let them know that we're here to help them. So obviously some of you already might have downloaded this, but there's a past client email template. It's actually with our re-engagement email template, which we would normally use to reach out to past clients, but I've added in an extra kind of past email template just for this masterclass that relates more to what we're going through right now. So you've kind of got both on there. You can use one or the other, you can use a mixture of both. It's up to you, but I just thought it was helpful to add an extra one in there about how I kind of see that you would email people right now, basically. So I hope that that is helpful for you. So I wanted to show you this quickly. This is called the 4A's freelance funnel. It's based on a traditional sales funnel. So most of us actually skip the first two stages of awareness and attraction when we're getting clients. The awareness stage is when people get to know you through like social media and things like that. Attraction is more about building up relationships with them after that through case studies and testimonials. And action is actually where most of us start. We can't kind of completely forget about awareness and attraction. We just go in there with a cold email. We're like, hey, hire us now. When really we should be trying to, cultivate some more client leads, like inbound leads, which basically just means clients that come to you through awareness and attraction, which with things like social media, content marketing, case studies, testimonials, that kind of thing. So for the purpose of this class, though, I only want to focus on advocacy. So that's why I'm telling you to re-engage past clients, because I think that right now that's actually the easiest and quickest way to get more client projects. So you can totally, do the things on social media, do all those things, but I want to focus on advocacy, because I think that during this time, that's the easiest place where you're going to get clients from, people who've worked with you before and things like that, or people who are going to refer you. So building these relationships with our clients, keeping them as warm leads, and then turning them into advocates so they can also refer you to other people. So reaching out to past clients in this way can also help us to know if they're pausing their work, maybe they're continuing work, or they're pivoting their offerings. So actually one of my good friends who owns a video studio just emailed me like 2 days ago or something, asking me for recommendations because they were pivoting to use more motion design and animation in their business to help their clients. So that is like fantastic news for us. That there actually might be more work potentially. So even if some of your clients are kind of pausing their projects or cancelling them or something like that, there could be these new things that are popping up. So we're going to talk a bit more about that later. So I just wanted to show you an example of someone who recently reached out to their past client and got great feedback. This was actually just from the other week. I think he posted on the 24th of March. So this is Jake. He is one of our MoGraph Mastermind alumni. You can check him out at jakehawley.com. He's very, very good motion designer. And he reached out to his client recently, a past client from a while ago, and just sent them an email just saying, hey, I'm here. This is my portfolio. And this was the response he got. So obviously it was a bit more extended than this, but it was a really positive response. So I just wanted to point this out because I feel like people are a bit scared to reach out right now, and you're not always going to get a negative response, basically. So what packages can you offer your clients? So some of our clients may be affected by what's going on work-wise, and some of them may not be. I want to teach you a few tips that could help you to get work and keep going without lowering your day rate, which I think is very important. It's important for you. I actually think it's very important for the industry, because we don't want to start kind of lowering day rates and make it a race to the bottom, because that would not be a good thing. So offering packages can help us to make it easier for clients to hire us. They can get what they need without big budgets, and it can help us to not lower our day rate. So how does it make it easier for clients to hire us? Well, you can lay it out so exactly what you're going to provide for a fee, and many people that may not have hired motion designers before. So you might actually be looking at some new markets, kind of going after people who maybe haven't done animation before for various reasons. Like maybe they're just starting to do more online business, but previously they're a brick and mortar business or something like that. So you can just send them different packages, and it just makes it really clear to them about what you can provide them. So how can we give the client what they need without lowering your day rate? Obviously, if they don't have as big a budget as they normally would. So we can provide tiered packages, and we can anchor our prices. So I've used a very simple, like a simplified example to show you how this works. So please note, these prices don't reflect real projects, because I know how like people get crazy about when you put prices on stuff. So I'm just letting you know, this is just for demonstration purposes, and I just made it up, completely made up. So obviously when you're doing this, you would do it, it would be more in depth and more complicated and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to show you an easy example of, you know, what price anchoring is and how you can offer different packages. So you can give the client options. If their budget is lower than the normal amount they would spend, you can break it down so it can still work for them without lowering your day rate. So you're just lowering the amount of time or the amount of offerings you're going to give them. So obviously option 1, you've got like a 3-minute animation with voiceover music, a written script from you, or like obviously if you're hiring someone else, character design, character animation. Obviously you break it down, it'll be more complicated than that. Like character design and animation obviously isn't like a line item, but we know that character animation takes longer, so therefore that would be more expensive. Option 2, I've just used kind of time to break these up as well, which you might not necessarily do. You might do more style of animation or something like that, but just for ease, that's how I've done it here. So the option 2 is like the middle option, which is 2 minutes of animation, includes voiceover, music, written script. Option 3, 1 minute of animation, includes voiceover, music. So I would imagine that, you know, option 3 is more like kind of a text-based animation, something like that. Option 2 is probably a bit in between, a bit of sort of text and motion graphics, and maybe like a tiny bit of character animation with no walk cycles. And option 1 is, you know, a full character animation, character design. And as you see, I've tiered the prices up there. And, you know, basically price anchoring is where you have kind of a really high level option, so it basically makes the other 2 options look really good. That's how I can describe it in kind of, you know, a quick simplified way. But if you want to know more about this kind of, you know, offering packages and how to price anchor and stuff like that, I recommend looking at this book, Pricing Creativity by Blair Enns. We're going to have a podcast episode, actually, the next one that comes out on the 14th of April is with him. So you could also wait for that and listen to that, because he's got some really, really good tips about this kind of thing. So you can also offer different pricing structures. So for example, you could say you would do a project rate instead of a day rate, and you could offer them to pay over 4 payments, so 25% each, or you could say to pay 25% at the beginning, 25% after storyboards, and 50% at the end. So this can like help a lot, actually, if your projects get cancelled and you have a contract in place that says you have to be paid for the amount of work done, because you already most likely would already have those payments if you're breaking it up in this kind of structure. So it just gives you kind of money coming in the door straight away, basically, without, you know, charging your client too much. Alexi just said, I came later. Would it be possible to check the video? Yes, we're going to send a replay. We will send a replay out, so do not worry. So we've talked about doing a client audit, reaching out to past clients, and offering packages. So now I want to talk about looking for hidden opportunities. As I mentioned just previously, Ryan, my friend, has been telling me that he's pivoting his offerings to include more motion design. So that could be one of the hidden opportunities that we look for right now, which is pretty exciting. So I made this list. Sorry for the different font sizes. If anyone wants to design my presentations, please do. So if you've got any ideas, please put them in the chat right now. I'd love to hear all of your ideas about how, you know, different hidden opportunities that might be out there right now. So here's some of my ideas for you. Production companies that are offering more animation to their clients. That's my friend Ryan. Companies who are moving online from brick and mortar businesses, they might need more advertising online. Maybe they're starting to do some Facebook ads, things like that. People creating online courses who need to advertise them. So a lot of people are getting into, you know, online courses and doing different stuff like that. So maybe they need to figure out how to advertise them. Maybe they need to do a YouTube channel as some of their content marketing for their course, and they need some like awesome bumpers or something like that. Businesses who need to share a message about how they are affected. People watching and making more YouTube channels which require motion graphics. Sort of mentioned that one a bit already. Making your own YouTube channel and helping to teach online. That's another way that you can make money. Businesses that have an increased demand. So I was thinking about people like Zoom, for example. They've got so many customers right now. Or also a funny one that I thought of is, if anyone knows that company Who Gives a Crap, it's the toilet roll company. They literally cannot fill the demand right now. So I can see someone saying, haha, yes. So yeah, I mean, if someone got in touch with them and was like, hey, do you want to do all these crazy adverts, like when people don't need toilet roll as much, could be an opportunity, you know? So, and also businesses that need help sharing their message. So I was thinking of things like maybe lots of people are pivoting and doing things in different ways. So maybe they need to do more explainer videos to share their message out there. So let's have a look. Has anyone got any ideas? Austin's put something. Reach out to photographers and videographers, offer to partner with them, create animated content for their clients since they can't do in-person shoots. That's an awesome one. I love it. Reach out to friends who work in businesses you know who will need motion designers. Did anyone else put some above? Twitch would be good because it's being used a lot for sure. La, la, la. Consider businesses that are doing well right now. Online stores, social platforms, indoor exercise equipment. Yes, I love this. So fun. Oh yeah, Mary never thought of online course makers. Yeah, there's loads. There's loads of stuff that you can do for people who do like online business, online course stuff. And also the best thing about those kind of people is they're really used to working remotely. So there's totally not a problem there. Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm really impressed by everybody's ideas. Ilko says infographic animation for companies that usually hold meetings, presentation design, educators moving to teach online. Yeah, that's one I thought of as well. Adult online shops. Wow, cool. Yeah. Where to find all these courses? You can look on, if you're looking for course creators, you could look on the Teachable platform. You can look on Thinkific. Teachable is where we host some of our courses, so that's a good one. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm pretty excited by all your suggestions. So let's get on to the last section. I want to talk about how to take action, or maybe not right now. So as I said earlier, I put the or not because sometimes people might need a bit of time and a bit of space right now, and that's okay. So please do remember that. Please keep checking in with yourself. My coach keeps telling me to check in with myself, so I'm now passing on the message to all of you. Please check in with yourself. Make sure that you're okay. There's a lot of kind of underlying stress going on, so I just want to remind you all of that. So if you want to use this time and you've got the capacity and you can't find any work right now with all of the ideas that I just gave you, I hope that you can, but say you can't, what other things that you could do is you could do your update your reel or website. Now I know there's many of you out there who need to update your reel. Say yes in the comments if you need to update your reel and we'll hold you accountable. Yes. So many. See, you could be doing that right now. You can do some training. You can connect with others, which is really important. We all know how important it is to connect with other people right now. So please do that. You can also find communities online. You know, we have our free Facebook community and everything like that. I got really distracted there because someone just put deletes 2018, puts 2020 on reel. Nice. I like your style. So I'm just gonna have another drink because I think I'm losing my voice. Okay, thank you for your patience. So I've already showed you how to do a client audit, how to reach out to past clients, what packages you can offer your clients, how to look for hidden opportunities, giving you some ideas, and how to take action, or maybe not, if you just want to have a little bit of a relax for a bit. So I'm sure some of you are wondering what the special announcement is. I'm pretty excited. Oh, are you excited? I'm not going to tell you what it is, so if you don't, say in the comments that you're excited about the special announcement. Oh yeah, people are excited. Okay. All right, maybe I'll tell you then. So we decided to do some MoGraph Mastermind scholarships. So I'm going to tell you what the MoGraph Mastermind is if you don't already know. I know that there's some people in here who have already done the mastermind, which is awesome. So thanks for joining us. Obviously, if you want, you can do it again. So we decided to offer some scholarships because obviously everyone's been affected by COVID-19, which sucks, you know. I don't think anybody hasn't been affected. So I know that I believe this mastermind is awesome, obviously, and I'm in a lot of masterminds myself, and it's just helped me so much in my business. And I just really wanted to be able to give some free spots away. So we're going to give 2 free spots for our April session to help some of you in your freelance business. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about what the mastermind is in case you don't know what it is, and then tell you more about how you can apply for these free spots. So what the heck is a mastermind? Well, a mastermind is a peer support group who learn and grow together, usually meeting weekly on video calls, so like on Zoom, something like that, with about 4 to 6 people. So it's quite a small group. In our groups, we have 4 motion designers usually, and we have the mentor. And masterminds provide you with a sounding board to bounce ideas off when you're feeling stuck. They help you with feedback, support, and encouragement, which is pretty cool. They provide you with accountability for your goals. A mastermind helps you surround yourself with people who understand you and what you're going through. And that is because you talk to them every week about your business and what's going on. And when I'm in my mastermind, I'm always like, oh yeah, this happened, that happened. I'm not sure about this. What do you think about this, all the time? And it's just really nice to have people there to talk to you about what you're doing and some of the ideas that you have. Someone put the AA for mographers. Yeah, I guess maybe, yeah. Sometimes my mastermind feels like that, the one that I'm in, but yeah, we do talk a lot in the MoGraph Mastermind about things like imposter syndrome and, you know, how to deal with that. And the other great thing is kind of just having feedback on your work and stuff and knowing where you are in the kind of motion design industry, because a lot of people I feel struggle because they're not sure where they fit. Like, are they good enough? Should they be more senior? Should they be going for this kind of job? Should they be going for that kind of job? And I just think it's nice to have people who are sort of really there to help you and really care and give you like a 360 view on your business, because obviously you have the mentor, but you also have the other motion designers in the group. So in our mastermind, what is included? You get access to the MoGraph Mastermind Slack community, which I know some of you are in there already. Andrew's saying definitely take advantage of this if you haven't already, or even if you have. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew is one of our mastermind alumni, so thanks very much. You get weekly calls online with your mentor and the other mastermind members. You get your portfolio and work reviewed. We have a dedicated Wipster channel where we do that. So basically we can all go in there and provide you with different comments, which is really cool. You get access to your MoGraph Mastermind mentor who can offer you guidance and expertise. So as you can see, there's a picture of me there. and the picture of Jess Peterson, who's one of the mentors, and Christopher Burnell. And then the other faces are some lovely mastermind alumni. So maybe you recognize yourself. There's some of you here who are on that picture, I think. So I hope that's okay that I put you on there. Yes, that's Austin Say though in the top left. So if you're aiming to go freelance, grow your client base, or update your portfolio, or maybe you're looking for some accountability for your personal project that you've been putting off, the MoGraph Mastermind program would provide you with the support and accountability you need to achieve your motion design career goals. So if you want to find out more about it, because you're like, I still don't know what Haley's on about, go to motionhatch.com/mastermind and you can find more details there about how the program works. To apply for the scholarship, you need to go to bit.ly, I think that's how you say it, bit.ly/motion scholarship. And that should take you to a type form. And if you fill out that form, then we're going to choose 2 people from there, basically. So we're only going to open the scholarship for 24 hours because obviously we're going to start soon and we need to know who's going to have the free spots. And I'm sure you all want to know too. So please do go over there as soon as you can and fill that out if you want to have one of the scholarship spots. And I really hope that we can choose some people that it's really going to help, because I really want to help more motion designers kind of level up in their business. You know, if you're struggling to get clients and that kind of thing, I want to help you. So please do apply. So obviously, because we can only offer 2 spots for free, it's actually, we only ever offer up to 40 places total. So there's not very many places. So this is why we offer 2 spots for free. We'd love more people to join us, of course. So there's some extra kind of goodies that I've added to this session, because I'm trying to think of ways like, how can I help the motion design community more? So I've added a few more things to this session of the Mastermind program. So we've extended the early bird pricing, which gives you £150 off. We're giving anyone who joins us this session the freelance contract bundle for free, because I want to make sure that you have everything you need to, you know, be awesome in your freelance business, basically. And I really think having a contract is really, really important. I'm sure you've heard me bang on about it before. Also, we're going to have some special industry expert mastermind masterclasses. That's a bit of a mouthful. To help you with the things that you're struggling with right now because of what everything that's happening in the world. I think there's some very particular struggles. So I'm trying to, you know, key into that and try and find out what they are and try and get people who are experts to help in those areas. So the extended early bird pricing is £150 off. As I said, it's usually £897, but the discounted price for the spring session is £747. The industry expert masterclass that we've confirmed so far, I'm hoping to get some more, is with Annette Ferguson. She's a chartered accountant and a certified Profit First professional. So she is going to teach our lovely mastermind members how to build a profit plan in 2020, which will go through how to forecast for your business, how to audit your expenses, which is really important right now, because you need to make sure you're actually using the things that you're paying for. Because I know when I did this, I was like, wait a minute, I've not looked at that thing for like years. Why am I still paying for it? And then what you need to know about your business finances during this time. So, you know, that's exactly what's going on with the world, like what we need to know about how to run our businesses basically and forecast for 2020. So I think that's going to be awesome. Austin saying profit first. High five. Yeah. So if you are interested, there's actually a book about profit first as well, so you can check that out. But Annette's amazing. She's actually my accountant as well. She's pretty awesome, so I'm really excited for her to give the masterclass. She teaches a lot of people about this stuff, so I think it's going to be really, really good. So that's just like, we don't normally do that, but I'm just trying to like pack as much as I can into this mastermind, because I really think people need the help right now and they need that community. So if you want to find out and apply, like I said, go to motionhatch.com/mastermind and you'll find all the details there. And basically what happens is you apply on the form, we go through, we send you an email, or you jump on a call with me. I can talk to you more about the mastermind, find you an excellent group for you to be in, and answer any more questions that you have. So we're to the Q&A bit. Yay! Presentation over. Oh my God, that took like so actually much longer than I thought. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'll just leave those two links up there so that you can make a note. You can go to the site, whatever you want. So obviously find out more about the mastermind, join the mastermind if you want. If you want to apply for the 2 free places, go to the second link as well. So just as a reminder, only 24 hours for the scholarship to apply. The mastermind itself actually closes on Monday at midnight Pacific time. So you've got a little bit longer if you want to apply just to join the mastermind like as a regular person. So Mark says, fab presentation. Thank you very much. I'm glad the presentation bit is over now. That's always the craziest part. Okay, so I can see that some of you posting questions in the chat. If you can post them in the Q&A box, it should be on the bottom, then that would be really good because then I can answer them. So I can see that Luca says, I'll be in the April session. Yeah, Luca's already in the mastermind. So if anyone joins, you can hang out more with Luca as well. So cool. So let's have a look at these questions. So we've only got 6 so far. So please, if you've posted questions in the chat, go to the bottom and please post them in the Q&A box. So I'll just have a read of them. Okay. So we've got someone anonymous. Oh, anonymous attendee. Just starting to reach out to clients. When a client asks me about a timeline and how long a project might take me to finish, how can I determine the timeline of a project? I know it depends on me and everyone is different, but what would be the average for a 1-minute video? Well, I think everyone can help with this. If you have done a 1-minute animation recently, pop in the chat how long it took you, because I think, then we can get a gauge. But I would say, I don't know, I've taken about 4 to 6 weeks, if that's kind of the answer you were looking for, to do a 1-minute animation. I think it depends how fast you are and stuff like that. If everyone pops in the chat, like how long does it take you to do a 1-minute animation, I think that'll be cool. Give them a few more answers. Yeah, Jason says it depends on the content for sure. Yeah. Oh, my thing's gone a bit funny. So Luke is asking, I was wondering, when people charge a deposit up front, do they invoice 30 days, for example, or does it need to be in your bank account before you start? So for me, I would always get it before I start, because then I just know that they're committed to the project and things like that. But again, if people want to put what they do in the chat, I think it's really cool to kind of get a few answers in there. So Liam is saying, I haven't built my website yet, and this is a great time to do it. Is there a starting point? I'm feeling overwhelmed and I don't know what I should be focused on first. Landing page, referrals, showcase and work, case studies. I think we actually have, do we have a portfolio checklist on the website for free? Maybe Natalie can find the link for you. So that just gives you kind of a base of what things that you can be including. I would just focus on showcasing the work as the first and foremost thing. Don't make it too complicated, and kind of use that as your, minimum viable product version of your website, and then keep building upon that. So I'm just reading your questions because there's quite a few coming in. So please be patient with me. Stephen is saying, are the mastermind calls scheduled on London time? So because we have, obviously I'm a mentor, we have Christopher Bernal and Jess Peterson in the States. So they're scheduled kind of across all time zones. We try and do it as wide as possible. So we have some that are like really early in the morning for some people's time, some people that are midday and some in the evening. Like there's literally, we try and cover as much as we can. We've had people from Thailand in the mastermind, America, France, Germany, Italy, everywhere basically. So I think we've got some people from Australia this time. So I think we're pretty much covering time zones. So hopefully that answers your question. Um, I'm trying to make sure I think I'm answering the wrong question. I'm trying to answer the ones that came in first, but I'm actually gone the wrong way. So Cliff says, do I have any suggestions for designers who've been laid off from a staff job that they now need to break into freelance? I would say probably that you should just do what I was saying in this, like focusing on any contacts that you already have would probably be a great way to kickstart that, and then build out from there and start trying to widen your net a little bit. It's a little hard at the moment because normally I would say, oh yeah, go to events, stuff like that. But obviously we can't go to events now. So, maybe we have to show up more online, like on Instagram, LinkedIn, places like that. And I think if you kind of just let people know what you do and that you're out there and ask them for referrals, I think that could be a good way to start, but then start, widening your net slowly is what I would kind of suggest. How do you do client audits and you don't have clients yet? Yes. How would you do a client audit if you didn't have clients? Well, you could do the social media part for sure, because you could go and you could start posting things online and see what's getting more attention. So I'd start with that part of it. And then once you get a few more projects, you can obviously go back to it. If I think later about it, anything to add to that, I'll let you know. So when checking in with clients, I tend to keep it personal. If I feel this is appropriate, of course, based on past relationship, but wondering if this is the right way or should I keep it more work related? I think the more personal kind of aspects to an email, the better, really. Like, we're trying to develop personal relationships with people, aren't we? We're trying to build our relationships because that's what builds our businesses and stuff like that. That's always been the case. So I mean, I don't know how personal you want to go. like obviously there's a line, but I think the more personal, the better, really. Tony says, how long are the mastermind calls? So the mastermind calls last an hour and a half every week. And what we do is we have people in the hot seat each week. So you have two people in the hot seat each week. They have half an hour each to discuss their struggles or like what they've got going in their business right now. And then the other people have a little bit less time that week to kind of say their wins and their challenges. And every single week we make an action item for everyone for the next week. So even when you're not in the hot seat, it's really great to hear what other people have going on. And because we match people together who kind of fit well with each other in the groups, you tend to be talking about similar stuff anyway. And the amount of times that I've been not in the hot seat and I'm like, oh yeah, I need help with that too. I like that idea. I might try that as well. Actually, like recently in my own mastermind, I felt like when I'm not in the hot seat, it's actually more helpful because people are kind of talking about their businesses and what they're doing. It just gives you a ton of ideas. So I hope that gives you like an overview of the calls. Oh, just hitting my hand on the desk. So Chris is saying, does the costing option setup apply with agencies or is this direct client only? Are you talking about offering packages and stuff like that? because I guess my answer to that, if you are talking about that section, my answer to that would be, right now the world is so crazy, like I feel like anything goes. Like, why not offer your clients like more packages, more project rates that are working with agencies, because it might just make it easier for them to kind of figure out their budgets and that kind of thing. So they might be grateful for that during this time, but it's hard to know really without kind of going out there and talking to them. But you could definitely say like, hey, this is my normal day rate, but I've actually made these packages to help you. And on the email template that we sent out, we actually did this. We've like saying that you have some new packages that could help them during this time. And I think that could just be a good reason to kind of contact them, and also just know that you're kind of there to help them and you're willing to do business in a bit of a different way, because we are like kind of in a bit of a different crazy time right now. So I think that you could do that. Just let me know if the audio is okay. Some people are saying the audio cut out. Oh yes, you were talking about that, Chris. That's good. Okay, so this is a bit of a long question. That's why I had to read it. So I have a fear that when I'm going to charge a fair day rate, a lot of clients don't want to work with me again, or I won't be able to get new clients because I would be too expensive in their eyes, especially with all the competition. There's a lot in the Netherlands which can do it way cheaper. What would be your advice on this? Yes. So I think that I would ask myself, have you reached out to clients and are they some of them saying yes, or are they all saying no? Because if you're getting yeses some of the time, then I think that you're probably not charging too much. So there was a really good thing. I think it was Jessica Heish said, if you tell a client your rate and they say yes straight away, you're charging too little, basically. And if they negotiate with you, you're charging about the right amount. But if you're getting no's like all the time, like constantly, then maybe you are charging a bit too much. But I think I would like question that, and I would kind of use this to see if that is the case. And then also what I would do is try and probably you could try and niche down your offering, so you could work with a certain type of clients. That always helps. Specializing, if you've been working for a while and you're kind of upping your rates a lot, like sometimes specializing could be the next answer, because then you're kind of digging deeper into an area, and then you can show the clients a lot more value in that certain area as well. So that's something to think about as well. If you want more info, I just read the book by Blair Enns as well called Women Without Pitching. That talks about specialization a lot, and that's really good. So I would have a look at that too. You guys write long questions, so it takes me a while to read them. Oh, this is a good one. So I'm working from home as a freelancer for a big company where I used to work on site. Should I charge for standby time? I always charge for it on site, but now I feel bad when I'm waiting for feedback. Would it be a huge income loss if I just charged for the hours I work? So I think that you should charge when you're on standby, because if you said that you're going to work for them and they know how much they pay you and they were paying you that before, just because you're at home doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If you've got to be like on standby, as if you've got to be there waiting for them to get back to you. So that's what I do for day rates. I had this problem before, and then I moved my clients to more project rates, because then that means they can overlap a lot more. So you're just charging them a project fee and you're not having that kind of guilty feeling like, oh my god, I'm charging these people a day rate and I'm just sitting here doing nothing. So yeah, you could move to a project rate and just say, because then it's easier for us to work together, because then you're not kind of paying me for when I'm waiting for feedback and that kind of thing, and then that means you can overlap your clients a little bit more as well. So I hope that answers your question. I hope you're having a good time in the chat. It's kind of hard to keep up with the chat and the Q&A at the same time. So if you have a question or a comment for me, it's probably best to stick it in the Q&A. So Matthias, regarding potential clients who don't write back after discussing a project for a while, do you just forget about them, even if you really wanted to do the project, or do you push on? So I guess my question, I want to ask you more questions about that. But yeah, my question sort of is, do you start the project even though they haven't given you the go ahead? That's that would be my question. I think if they haven't given you the go ahead, don't start on the project, even if you really want to do it. I would, if they haven't wrote back to you after a while, I would chase them up until they say, no, we don't want to start this project. That would be my advice. I can see Kyle giving some awesome comments in the chat as well. So thanks for that. So Andy, I'm pretty sure Andy just joined our mastermind as well. So I'm really, really excited to meet you, Andy, on next week when we have a little chat booked in. But thanks for your question. So any suggestions for someone just starting out freelance who doesn't have a book of previous clients? Cold outreach, more interaction on social media with the MoGraph people. So what I would do is I would follow the 4 A's freelance funnel. Basically what you want to do is kind of hit all these areas. So you want to be making more people aware of you. You want to be attracting them. So making sure that you've got things on your website like testimonials and case studies and stuff like that. And then you want to be, doing some of the cold outreach as well, I think. But what I would do is I would try and warm people up a bit more, like in the awareness section, warm them up by going and kind of commenting on their Instagram. So if it's like a small animation studio, it's quite easy to do this because they're usually the ones that are looking at the Instagram too. Make comments, like their posts before you send them cold emails, because then that just warms them up a little bit. And I would do that kind of thing. I would start with your local network as well, even though we can't meet them in person right now. Just sort of getting in touch with those people saying, hey, I'm a local person, I'd love to work with you, blah, blah, blah. Those kind of people, trying to make connections with local motion designers and stuff too. Like I say, even though you can't go out and meet them, like you could email people and set up a Zoom call and stuff like that. I would do those kind of things, just start conversations with people basically and start building those relationships. Okay. How soon would you make a follow-up contact again from a client or recruiter if you haven't heard back from them? So I think it depends on your relationship. So if it's like a reoccurring client that you know really well, I think you can put a little bit more pressure on them. But if it's a client that you don't know so well, I would, if they're inquiring with you, and so they've sent you an email about a project, but then you've replied and they haven't got back, then I think I would wait like maybe a few days. But then if you're just contacting them, kind of cold outreach kind of stuff, then maybe a week, something like that. I mean, you just kind of have to sort of gauge it as you go, but try a few different things. But I think you can definitely follow up with people. Everyone says the power is in the follow-up, so definitely do that. So Andrew said, thanks for asking that, Andy, in a similar boat. That's good. I'm glad this is helping. Let me know in the comments if you think if this is actually helping you answer me answering these questions. I think it's really cool. We've got 18 questions. We've answered 14, so we're doing all right, I think. If you have, I think there's some questions in the chat. Again, if you can find the Q&A box, that would be awesome, because it's really hard to keep, answering the questions if they're not in the Q&A box. It should be at the bottom of your screen, I think. So Joe, as a motion designer, do you prefer a separate Instagram account? Is it generally said that, yeah, keep it separate for artistic content, but In fact, it is not a trend. Almost everyone, including the great ones, all happening all in one account with content and personal stories. So this is my opinion on it. Obviously, everyone has different opinions. My opinion is that you should have a separate account for your content, like your motion design stuff. But what I would do is I put more personal stuff in the Instagram story section because they only last 24 hours and it's nice for people to get to know you. So in the feed, you put your nice, pretty work. And in the stories, you put like, hey, behind the scenes, like, you know, I could do behind the scenes now of me like looking at this camera and stuff like that. And then just put your nice, pretty work in the feed because then that kind of acts as your portfolio. Josh's got a good question. What's the best protocol when a potential client ghosts you after a nice chat and even a budget discussed? I think I would just chase them up. Like I said before, like obviously, you know, a few emails, don't go crazy. Like, but I think, you know, usually if you chase people up with a couple of emails, they'll just say yes or no. So I would just do that. I mean, I don't see why not. You know, at least then you have an answer, I think. I like this. If you're an animal, what kind would you be? Just off topic and for some fun, it might sparkle some ideas. Yeah, thanks for Rigo. I like that question. Let's think. If I would be an animal, I don't know. I think like someone said that I was a bit like a sparrow before, which I think is a bit like feeble. But yeah, I wouldn't say like a tiger or something. I don't know, it's silly. Let me know in the comments what the people think they are. Someone said a fox. What, you think I'm like a fox? Or you think you're a fox? Wise owl. Oh, thanks, Chris. That's so nice. Thanks for the fun question. Okay. So this is a great question, I think. Daniel, I'm always curious when shopping clients choose someone else over me. I want to know, but is it too forward to ask? I'm worried I have a blind spot on my portfolio or on my, or I'm overcharging. So yeah, I think that you can ask, why not? Like, just be like, hey, just wanted to know, like, I'm trying to improve myself and like, on my portfolio and things like that. Like, if you could just help me, give me a little bit of feedback, like why you picked someone else rather than me. I mean, I think that would be helpful for you. And sometimes it might just be like, oh, it was like so and so's mate or something like that, you know. But yeah, I think that would be helpful. I think this kind of plays back into what I was talking about the mastermind with, you know, why a lot of people join our mastermind is because of this exact problem. Like, they don't know whether they're overcharging, they don't know whether they're kind of, you know, not in the sort of stage they should be. Like, some of them are junior, but should they be paid more senior? Like, do they have a blind spot in their portfolio? That kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's hard, but I would just ask people that can give you like, you know, honest feedback on your work. And obviously not like your mum and dad and people like that, but people that actually be honest with you and ask for it and say like, please give me constructive criticism, like even your friends and stuff. Dustin says sparrows not bad. Yeah, that's good. Sparrows are fine. Yeah, Dustin, I think you joined our mastermind as well too recently, so thank you for joining us. Daniel had another question, the same. Oh, this is a good one. Thanks, Dan. So Dan says, a couple of clients I work with have a 60-day payment period. It's quite frustrating. When I ask for 25% or 50% payment up front, they say they can't because they have processes in place. I've heard this so many times. I've even tried speaking to the accounts department. Any way around this or anything we can do to make it easier for them? Great question. Love this. So I had a friend who used to work for my company that I worked at. We had a 60-day payment term, which is ridiculous, I think. But he said, I work on a 30-day payment term. And he was like, that's just what I do. If you want me to work here, then you have to pay that. And he was like our favorite freelancer. So we did that, and that's the thing. And it's like, if you're not their favorite freelancer, maybe they'll be like, well, stuff for you, and off you go. But I think that, we have a bit more power than we think we do. So you could try that, or you could just suck up. I think they're the options. It's like, and also think about, do you want that to be your client? Like, if they have crappy payment terms, like, are they a good client to work with? Have they got benefits and have they got cons? Like, I would just weigh this up basically, and see what you come up with. That would probably be my best answer. Good one. Timothy says, what resources do you recommend for determining what to charge as a day rate, or what is standard rates in your country? So, yeah, this is a tough one. I would sort of say talking to people in your country is a good thing to do. And I think people are getting more and more open about rates. So I think you can do this. And also, kind of reaching out to individuals, having private conversations with them, because some people don't want to post their day rates in the public forum. We've talked about day rates a bit on the podcast as well, especially for like UK, US. So I don't know which country you're in, but maybe that could help you too. Yeah, so I think those would be the first places I would check. I'm just sort of trying to read some of the comments as well. Jason says it's good advice. I ask politely for feedback when I'm passed by for a job. Yep, I think it's a good idea to do that. So I think it's 6:15 now here. So let's try and zoom through some more of these questions. And I think I'll wrap it up at 6:30. So if you want me to answer your question, put it in there now and I'll do my best. I might not be able to get to all of them because there is like a ton. So really like the idea of reaching out to previous clients and making yourself helpful. Can you perhaps give some examples of how we as motion designers can be extra helpful to a studio or agency we've worked with? So yeah, I think I like the idea of offering packages to them, just because if they don't have a budget right now, that could be something you do. Someone recently in our mastermind, Alex, just created a page on his website for a client to help them offer their clients more animation over live action, stuff like that. So I think those are a couple of ideas. I'd love to hear some more ideas in the chat as well. I see that some of you have to leave. That's cool. I hope to see you all soon. But yeah, we're going to stick around, I think, till 6:30. So that's 15 minutes. I'm going to try and do as many of these questions as I can for you, because there's quite a lot. So Lucio says, what is the best way to budget per hour per project? I would say per project, and I would try and use value-based pricing. Not a lot of people do that in our industry, but if we could, then we'd be potentially making a lot more money. If you want to know more about that, like I said earlier, we did a great podcast with Blair Enns coming out on the 14th of April. So I think that could be a really good one to listen to find out a bit more. Tony, any tips on dealing with procrastination during this period? Yeah, so there's lots of things. I find it really helpful to go for runs in the morning. Just kind of gets me going. Setting it a certain period of time, like time blocking your hours. So for example, if you're like, okay, I'm going to work on client work in the morning, then I'm going to work on a personal project in the afternoon, or I'm going to spend this hour on social media, I'm going to spend this hour on email, just really blocking out your schedule and just sticking to that, and tracking your time as well, because you'll notice if you track your time, if you're procrastinating, you're like, oh crap, I actually wasn't doing anything then, and I've just got this timer running in the background. Or if you're on social media too long, I just think that's a really good thing to do. You can use Toggle for free. So, oh yes, Ploy just said use Toggle. Yeah, Ploy is in our Client Quest course, which is a new course that is in beta right now, but hopefully we'll release it in June to the public. So yeah, we talk about that in that. So thanks for the recommendation, Ploy. So just trying to read through some of your questions. Okay, I'll answer this one. How can I make my local agencies appreciate motion design more and make them understand what quality work is? So I think part of this is sharing like case studies and behind the scenes. I think that can really, really help with making them appreciate like how much effort and how long it takes us to do this kind of stuff, all of the things that go into it. You could share with them like some more process kind of documents, that kind of thing, like how you work in your process, how you make this stuff. I think, you know, that kind of thing really helps. Also, I'm like, if people don't appreciate motion design in your area, could you work for some other different people who do appreciate motion design? Like that's always an option too. So I hope that that helps. Andrew Green, I wanted to ask how you would break away from a recruiter work on building clients away. Oh, right. Okay. So like get more clients that aren't recruiters. I would say 9 to 10 jobs are through recruiters. So yeah, I would try and just reach out to studios and stuff directly. Like I was saying earlier, you could warm them up a bit through like Instagram and stuff like that. If people aren't coming to you through kind of inbound leads, you know, so yeah, trying to make contacts yourself. You know, you can use LinkedIn to find their contact details and things like that. Joey explains this a lot in the Freelance Manifesto. So I think that's a good way to kind of reach out. I would just encourage you to you know, keep post on social media, interact with the community, go out to events when we actually can do that again, and all that kind of stuff to get more personal connections with the companies rather than the recruiters. Sometimes I think people tend to take a lot of recruiter jobs and they could actually get more direct jobs. It's just because they keep taking the recruiter jobs that they don't have time to look for the direct jobs. And it's also about, you know, to get clients, we have to keep up our client outreach all the time. And this is why we need to build systems in place. This is why we need to figure out what works for us and keep doing those things and digging deeper, because if we do that, then we can generate consistent clients over a period of time. So, you know, it's not an overnight thing, but you can definitely do that. um I wish I could read all your questions and all your comments, but there's just so many. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a bit of a long question, Maxime, but I'll try and answer. So, reaching out to studios at this point through cold emails, actually no real success. I was thinking I might be doing something wrong. I get warm responses to about 20% of my emails asking about day rate and availability, but no booking. Got 2 first holds, but that was it. Do you think it's a better idea to start looking for direct clients? I must admit, most studios are quite nice and I might not be good enough fit for them, but I don't really know how to evaluate that. I'm I might need a mentor or a mastermind. Yeah, well, feel free to join our mastermind, but I'll do my best to answer your question now as well. So basically, what I think is I think that you should carry on with the cold outreach, but like I keep saying, I think we could try and warm these studios up a bit. Sometimes you can contact studios via Instagram and LinkedIn and stuff like that. Might get a bit more of a response. You could try that, you know. I just ask you if you're doing it enough, because a lot of the times, you know, people that I work with and people in the mastermind, I'm like, they're like, yeah, I email clients all the time. And I'm like, okay, cool. How many clients do you email? And they're like, one a week. You know, like it's like a bit of a numbers game as well. And although we don't want to blast them, we want to concentrate on the clients we want to work with. We also want to be doing, I'd say, like at least 5 a week, You need to continually work on building these connections through different avenues as much as you can do that. Obviously, one of them is in person. We can't really do that right now, so that's kind of off the table. But through email, through social media, through like online classes, everything, like there's loads of ways to build connections with people. So I just really work on doing that. I would say if you want to try some different stuff, treat it as an experiment for you. So say, okay, I'm going to try and do some more connecting on Instagram, and I'm going to do that for like 1 month or 2 months, and then I'm going to evaluate how that's going for me. So you're not sort of wasting your time, but you're trying different things. Also, I would say get the people to read your emails. Do they kind of sound like good emails to them? Are you putting enough of the kind of personal touch into them and that kind of thing? That's something we do in the mastermind a lot, is we read people's emails that they're sending to clients and kind of tweak them and help them to craft some better emails. So it could be stuff like that, but it could be nothing to do with your email or your work. It could just be the clients that kind of clients that you're contacting and stuff like that. And sometimes it literally is just a numbers game. So it's a kind of a bit of a long convoluted answer to that as well, but yeah, it's quite a hard thing to answer without really knowing like all your work and stuff like that. Maxim says, oh yeah, thanks a lot, you got it, you're right, not enough, 2 to 3 a week. Yeah, I think that isn't enough. I think you should be doing more, especially if you're not getting work. Let's not feel like we're bothering people. We're trying to email them and we're trying to contact them and get in touch because we want to help them get their messages out there. And agencies are always looking for people all the time, so let's not be too frightened to reach out, because I think we are a bit shy about this kind of thing. Okay. This is a good one. Cool. So do you think that clients that are switching to motion design because of the pandemic may not realize how much work is actually worth? How do you communicate that with clients that are used to live action work? Yeah, so it's kind of what I was talking about a bit earlier, where you can explain like the waterfall process to them, about how, we make storyboards and then it's an animatic, and then, the process, explain the process, I think really helps. Show some more behind the scenes, talk to them about how you work, all of that kind of thing. Tell them about how long stuff takes. I think it's just all about communication. This is something I'm really passionate about, and what I'm going to talk more about in my client course that I'm working on, because I think it's really important that we have open communication. We don't think of our clients like the enemy, they're the enemy. We need to work like together with our clients and try and help them as much as possible. And sometimes that does just take like an extra bit of communication and stuff like that, about like how long this kind of stuff takes, and that's why you charge what you do and all that kind of thing. So I hope that answers. Cool. I'm glad you're finding it helpful. Let me know in the comments if you think this is helpful. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. Got about 5 minutes left. This has gone much longer than I thought I would. But yeah, hopefully I can get through a lot of these. This is an interesting one. So I'm thinking of starting to be a freelance motion designer after working full time as a motion designer, but my life is about to change. I'm going to have a baby quite soon in autumn. Congratulations. Is this still worth trying to move towards the idea of freelancing? I've been thinking about it for quite a while, and I'd be a bit upset if I have to leave this step for later. So I would ask you, when are you going to try and go freelance, I think, is the question, because maybe don't do it right as you have the baby. Like maybe that would be a bad idea. I'm not a parent, so I feel like maybe some of the people can comment on this too, but my idea would either be to do it before or after, and potentially now is a bit of a funny time, if I'm honest, but I don't think that you can not do it. Like, I'm sure you could. And obviously, you want to be there for your baby. And, especially right now, freelance would provide you more opportunity to be there for your baby and stuff like that. So I don't want you to put your dreams on hold, but then I also think that you need to be prepared for it. So maybe it's just things like making sure you've got enough savings in the bank and just preparing for it properly, making sure you have all your ducks in a row in terms of like your website and stuff like that. Can you get some freelance clients on the side before you leave your full-time job, before the baby comes, things like that, because that will help you transition easier. So I would say necessarily maybe it's not all about the baby. Maybe it's about, have you got the stuff in place that you need to go freelance and be successful? Chris says, yeah, take maternity pay first. Yeah, so one we did have a podcast, Natalie is reminding me, with doing it for the kids. So we talked a bit about freelancing and being a parent. So if you check that out, I can't really remember what it is. If someone's got a link and they post it in the chat, that would be great. So we just got a couple more minutes. I'm going to try and go through as many questions as I can. I can see some of them you have to leave. That's cool. Thanks so much for being here. If you have to go, I'm going to try and answer as many questions I can in the last 2 minutes, and then I'll sign off. But if you've got more questions, go and put them in our Motion Hatch Facebook community, and I'll try and answer them there. And I'm sure other people will too. Yeah. So Alejandro says, I've been trying to move my per hour rate clients to project rates or day rates, but encountering a lot of pushback. Should I stick to per hours for these kind of clients, usually the agencies? Yeah, so I think that if you're getting a lot of pushback, then sometimes you might just have to stick with your day rate. If you can't convince them, like I was saying earlier, you can try and say, like, especially now because we're all working remotely, it's easier for you to manage and be there for them when you need them to be if you're working on a project rate, because you're not kind of blocking your time out with different clients on day rates and stuff like that. But sometimes people are just not going to be having any of it. And if that's the case, you, like I was saying before, you make the decision to keep working with them or on a day rate, or you say, okay, that's fine, I'm going to go with these clients who are happy with that. So I would do those things. Andrea says, is it possible to watch a recording? We will send an email out to everybody with the replay so that you can have this and you can watch a recording and do the exercise and all that kind of good stuff. Where do you look for 5 potential clients to email a week? So what I would do is I would figure out like who you want to work with. Do you want to work with marketing agencies? Do you want to work with PR companies? Do you want to work with animation studios? And I would start you can easily look on LinkedIn in your local area. If you type in like animation studio, put the location to like Manchester, for example, which is where I am. You could easily find some people that pop up and companies that pop up in there. And you can do that for free. I think LinkedIn, after a while, if you're searching for a lot of people, it does block you. But, I think you have to be doing a lot more than 5 a week to kind of get there. So yeah, I would start. I think LinkedIn's a great tool for searching for companies and people, doing a bit of research, seeing if their work aligns with your work. Like, it is a lot of effort and it does take time, but if you can build this consistent funnel to get more clients in because you're continuously working on it rather than doing what we normally do, which is work on our freelance projects, and then we dry up work and we're like, oh crap, I need like more clients, and we don't have any because while we were working we weren't keeping up this consistent outreach that we need to do. So oh, I think I might have just skipped a question, sorry. Oh, we've gone over our time. So I'm going to pick one more question to answer, because otherwise we'll be here all night or all day, depending on where you are. Thank you, Natalie, for putting podcast 41, Parenting as a Freelancer. We're doing it for the kids. Can we get a copy of your slides? I can try and make that happen. I'll write all my crappy notes off the bottom, maybe. Or you can just feel free to ignore the strange notes in the bottom. But yeah, I'll try and make it available for everyone. If I can, maybe I can do a PDF or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll try and do that. We'll put it in the email. So everyone watch your emails and make sure that you do catch that. So I'm going to answer one more question and then we're going to sign off. Let's see. This one, I think. What's the difference in rate with standby and actual work rate, or is it the same? I would say if you're working, even if you're on standby, your rate should be the same. That's my answer to that. That was a nice short one. Let me know in the comments if you think differently to me. That's always interesting. So yeah, this is so cool. I'm so sorry I can't answer all your questions, but feel free to post them in the Motion Hatch community and I'll try and answer them later as well. Thank you so much for joining me on this free masterclass. I think it was really, really awesome. I'm so happy that we can offer 2 free places in our next mastermind. So remember, if you want to join us for the next mastermind, if you want a scholarship place, you have to go to bit.ly/motion scholarship. It's on your screen right now, it should be. And if you want to join us in the mastermind in April, and you can go to motionhatch.com/mastermind, find out more information. You'll get access to all of the awesome bonuses that I talked about. And I can't wait to work with some of you. It's going to be really great. So remember, the deadlines are scholarship, 24 hours. The mastermind closes on Monday at midnight Pacific time if you want to apply to join us. And yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. And this has been really incredible. And thank you for joining me. This has been awesome.